Hi guys, and welcome back to another YouTube video, She Means Business. I wanted to change things up a little bit. Instead of doing a podcast for this episode, I thought I would answer some of the frequently asked questions that I get on several of my channels, such as LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, and so on. I thought I'd combine it into one video because I know a lot of people have been waiting for me to reply to those messages, but I honestly don't get the time. And I thought I'd make a video and kind of share all the valuable information on my YouTube channel. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoy this video. If you do, and if you're new, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe, and stay tuned for other really amazing episodes. We're really redoing our YouTube channel. Obviously, there will still be podcasts here and there, but I really want to make it more founder driven. There will be vlogs, there will be a lot of different concepts. So stay tuned for that. But without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so the first question is the top 3 most surreal moments in my business so far. The top 3, there have been so many surreal moments in my business, and I'm so grateful for that. Chic Studio just turned 2 years old a couple of days back, and I'm so excited. And I was actually just thinking back at, these past 2 years and the amount of amazing projects and opportunities that we've been able to undertake is honestly surreal. But in terms of, the first things that came to my mind, obviously the first one would be landing my first deal via cold email. Yeah, I talked about this on the Instagram reels that we created for the Founder series on there. But if you guys haven't seen, I actually landed my first deal with Paramount, Live Nation, and Proactive, which are still like really, really good clients of ours. Paramount was just a one-time project thing. They were launching the Kids' Choice Awards in Abu Dhabi, and we were so excited when they asked us to pitch, and obviously we won the pitch. We worked with them and we helped them sell out their Kids' Choice Awards in Abu Dhabi. So that was the first surreal moment to actually work on such a big project as my first project in an agency setting, and then creating really amazing results and testimonials from that project. That was a really interesting and surreal experience for me. The second one would have to be IFA Awards. So IFA actually reached out to us when they had their awards last year in 2024 in Abu Dhabi again, and they filled up a form on our website and reached out, and they were like, hey, we've heard amazing things that you guys have been working a lot with Etihad Arena and other arenas in the region, and we really just want to set up a call, discuss with you. And it was so refreshing because I remember I was on my honeymoon in Bali when I got the email. I scheduled a call with the director, and essentially we had just such a good bonding moment because she was really inspired and really happy to work with a female founder. I can get more into this, but honestly, developing communities and networks within like a female founder or woman in business community has helped me significantly close my the amount of deals that I've had for Chic Studio. But I'll get into that in another episode. But let me go on to number 3, the third surreal moment. And that was when I realized I could finally take time off my work and my business would not fall apart. That was a really big accomplishment for me. Because, a lot of people know this, before starting my agency, I was a freelancer, and I used to always feel so burnt out because I used to work, my job during the day, and then I used to rush back home. And I remember I used to work in the car on my way home if I could, and then I used to get home and then jump on my computer right again, and then finally finish my work at 7, 8 p.m., take some time to go to the gym or for a walk, and then come back in and straight again work. So I was so burnt out, and that's the reason I quit freelancing and I started my agency. And I talk about that in, again, our Founder Stories episode on Instagram. So if you haven't checked that out, please do check that out. But yeah, that was such a surreal moment for me when I realized I could finally take time off my work and work in a completely different time zone. So right now, for example, I'm in Canada, and my team, obviously, and all my clients are in the Middle East. I'm here in Canada, and I'm working remotely. I still wake up really early so that I can see what's happening. I can be on any calls, all of that. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing that my team is handling everything so amazingly, and yeah, I'm just grateful that I can kind of step away from my business and enjoy my life, when I want to. So that is a surreal moment. The next question that I got was, what are your goals within the next year? Can you guys believe that it's almost the end of 2025? Well, not the end, but we're already in the second half of 2025. And honestly, that is so scary. I don't know how this year kind of flew by. It's really interesting. I mean, last year I feel like so much happened. I was still scaling my business. It was the first year of my business, and I got married, and then just so much happened. I moved cities. I came here to Canada for a couple of months, and then I flew back to Dubai. There's just so much that was happening. But in 2025, I've prioritized balance a lot more. Like, I've balanced my having kind of like a really nice work-life balance. So like balancing my working hours, my health, my fitness, which I think I didn't prioritize as much last year. And also, having time to actually relax and not do any work, and actually start indulging in hobbies. Like, I have an art class that I go to every Sunday now. So I mean, that's a really big thing for me. In terms of my goals for the next year is to continue balancing my time. I also really want to grow my personal brand and Chic Studio quite a bit. I feel like over the past couple of months, we've put in a lot of effort, me and my team, into growing these channels, because I feel like we've just started getting DMs on Instagram on our Chic Studio page, which I'm like, oh my god, it can be such a good revenue channel, and it can be really good for our business if we get more inbound queries. And also developing my personal brand is also super important. Like, I've been doing on LinkedIn. I've been really enjoying the connections that I've been making on there, and then obviously through YouTube as well. That's like one of my goals, to continue growing those channels. And yeah, I mean, in terms of obviously that goes hand in hand with people recognizing us for our work. And also, yes, another goal would be just growing the business and working with amazing brands, and also helping them grow their revenue and their social media channels. So that's a really big goal of mine. And obviously, I can quantify it in another video if you guys want, but I don't want to go into too much depth. But yeah, that's just kind of like a summary of the things I'm working on right now. And this goes hand in hand with the next question, which is, what advice would you give your younger self? If I could give my younger self any advice, and I was literally thinking about this and talking to my husband about this weekend, and I was telling him how I wish both of us had started our personal brand bit earlier in life. I mean, I've always been passionate, and I've always like freelanced with different brands and growing their social media accounts. I wish I had put in that amount of effort on my own personal brand from 2019 onwards. I feel like that's when I started, working with different brands, freelancing, all of that. And I feel like if I had just put in that much effort on my personal brand, I would be at a crazy level right now. But it's never too late to start. So start now. If you haven't started creating your personal brand, do start now, because it opens so many opportunities. It's not for you. So, and obviously I was always scared that, oh, people are going to mock me. People are going to find me on Instagram, or people are going to find me on TikTok. And I'm going to be embarrassed of, people following me that I know. But honestly, in like a couple of years, when you're at that level where you have a ton of followers, no one's going to care, and they're going to actually think and wish that they had started earlier. And it's not about influencing or anything like that. It's more about being an expert and building a community. Those are the most important things about building a personal brand. So I can make a whole episode on that, but I talk about it quite frequently on my channels already. Okay. Next question is, have you ever wanted to quit Chic Studio, and what stopped you? Yes, I have thought about quitting Chic Studio multiple times, and that is because owning a business is hard. And I think Any entrepreneur, if you ask them this question and they reply, no, I've never thought about quitting my business, they are lying, because owning a business is, glamorous on the outside, but it's actually really difficult. So much that you have to be doing, In peak seasons, you're too stressed, you have too many clients, too much workload, your team is burnt out, like you just wish you had hired more staff, and you feel like you're spread too thin. And then in the off-peak seasons or in the low seasons, you're thinking, okay, I have less clients and my team actually doesn't have enough work, and maybe they're bored of the work that they're doing and nothing's exciting, and you're thinking, what do I do with my time? I should be more productive. You obviously still have all of this, and then on top of that, you still have to pay salaries, you still have to pay taxes, you still have to pay, all of this. Your expenses are still the same, but yeah, I mean, the workload isn't much, and sometimes when all of this combined gets a bit too overwhelming, then I think you get to a point where you kind of start questioning, is it worth it to even run this agency anymore? So, I mean, there's stresses of a lot of things. I'm constantly thinking about getting new clients, taxes, client late payments. Oh my God. I have a horror story about that. I have legal battles that follow that, because I'm not going to let a client run away with my money. Like, that's for sure. And yeah, and all of that is just, sometimes it piles up, and you just think, wouldn't it be easier to quit and get a regular 9 to 5? And that's why I always tell people, running a business is not for everyone. Running a business is challenging. It takes a certain level and a certain person to be a founder. Like, I don't think everybody could be a founder. If everybody could be a founder, everybody would be a founder. But sometimes just being, just having a 9 to 5 is what makes sense. And yeah, in terms of the second part of this question, which was what stopped you from quitting Chic Studio? Number one, it's staying grounded and always remembering why I started my business in the first place. And the second thing was remembering that I love my job and I wouldn't want to do anything else. And I still feel that way when I'm super stressed out and I feel like quitting. I'm still like, wait, actually, I would take this stress over any other stress that would come from having a 9 to 5 job. So remembering those two things are super key for me. The next question that I have is, what advice would you give to someone starting a business with just a $10,000 marketing budget? And guys, this is a useful piece of information that I'm going to give in this segment of the video, that if you are someone that has a limited budget, please listen very carefully, because I have scaled multiple brands. My own, I used to have a brand actually before I started Chic Studio. And I'm going to tell you exactly what I did, because I think I had around $10,000, actually, maybe a bit less, that I used to scale that business. And yeah, I'm just going to break it down in this video. The first thing that I would do is make sure you set up all of your social media channels. If you haven't already, start doing that and start sharing the behind the scene kind of content. I feel like as a business owner, you should have the time to post at least one video a day. If you don't, be like me, batch create all of your content and start posting it. I feel like founder stories, all of that really helps grow your brand. So yeah, make sure you create a bunch of different social media channels and start documenting your brand on LinkedIn, I would say, and on Instagram and TikTok. You could also post those videos on YouTube Shorts. That's up to you, but focus on these channels. That's number one. Number two would be to actually start thinking about your content on your website and trying to get professional products for that. So, I mean, there are a ton of options that you could do to build your website. You can either do it yourself on Shopify or whatever platform you decide to. However, if you do want, you can get a freelancer to do it. There are a ton of freelancers on Upwork, on Fiverr that you can utilize, or just comment down below or message me on any platform. I'm happy to refer you to other agencies that might be a bit lower cost. So definitely do that. But yeah, having a really good website is super important. I remember I designed my whole website on Shopify, and I just got a really good photographer in India at the time, because I was in India. Got a really good photographer. I sent her my products and I was like, please, this is the mood board of my have like for my product range, and can you shoot some content for me? So she shot really good product pictures which I utilized on my social media and specifically on my website. Third thing that I would do is already find ways to collect people's email data. The easiest way to do this is to obviously create a pop-up on your website to tell people to sign up, and you can offer them a 5 or 10% discount, whatever you think is doable for your business, and start collecting emails that way. Start nurturing those emails. You can create have add-ons with MailChimp, with OmniSend, with Klaviyo. I've used all of these 3 email marketing platforms. They're super easy to use, and you can already start creating automated email workflows within those. So abandoned cart emails, welcome series emails, and review emails, I would say loyalty emails, so that target every single part of the funnel, your top, middle, and bottom. I would say set up the automations already on there. You can learn a ton about that, and I can do a separate video on that if people are interested. But I would say definitely get that started, and email marketing is great. I feel like it's a low-hanging fruit that a lot of businesses often miss. So definitely do that, and then I would recommend that you can leave kind of like the manual emails when you hire someone or when you're looking for an agency. That's something that the agency can handle. But in terms of email marketing, I think setting up automations is okay. And then number 4, this is ads. So ads is super important, and obviously I don't think I would have scaled my business that I had if I didn't have ads. Ads are amazing to find new customers or build your social media following or just general brand awareness. Those are amazing. Or even leads. If you need new leads for your business, ads are amazing for that. And you should definitely set up a top of funnel campaign if you can. And those are super easy to set up and don't require too much knowledge. And then I would say if you do have budget, this is where you invest your budget, is to get a really good freelancer or ad agency to manage your budget and specifically target based on your budget. I mean, we work with clients that we manage, small ad budgets. We manage huge ad budgets. Usually we work with more like medium-sized businesses. I do have experience working with smaller businesses as well, where, we come into their business, we act as consultants, or I act as a consultant or give them advice. I always have that link on my link tree as well if you guys want to check that out, or on the website on the contact us page, so you can see that. But yeah, in terms of running ads, if you can learn online, that's amazing, and you can definitely see videos on how to run conversion campaigns, lead generation campaigns, but these are usually more technical because the platforms are constantly evolving, and I think a media buying agency will know more on where to spend your money, whether that's Google, Facebook, depending on the business that you have currently. So that's one of them. And then number 5 is influencer marketing. Influencer marketing, you can easily get freelancers to manage influencers, or you could do it yourself, if you can. But I do know that doing all of these 5 things is a lot for kind of like a business. If you can get an agency, I did work with an agency that time for more PR, but I wish that I worked with an agency instead for maybe ads or something like that. But yeah, that's up to you what you want to do with your money, but that is based on my experience. I just gave you guys an answer. That's where I would spend my money, 80% of it on ads, because that's what grows your business and helps you see the initial sales from your business. And then email, social, influencer marketing, and all of that will just feed in gradually as you grow your brand. That will help you a lot. And that is the end of my video. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, definitely subscribe and give a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. Do check out our social media pages, as I mentioned to you guys before. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.